We all dream of success, but how many of us truly understand the price it demands? This is the story of a man who started with nothing but a dream. A man who refused to let his circumstances define his destiny. His name was Arman. Arman's world began in a tiny village, a place so remote that electricity was a rare luxury. His father, a humble farmer, tilled the land, while his mother worked in others' homes just to make ends meet. Arman wasn't the top student, but his dream soared far beyond the dusty lanes of his village. He yearned to achieve greatness, not for personal glory, but for his parents, who had sacrificed their own happiness for his future. Every single morning, long before the roosters crow, Arman embarked on a 5-kilometer walk to school. His entire wardrobe consisted of 2 pairs of clothes. His shoes were broken, a silent testament to his family's struggle. Other children would sometimes point and laugh, but Arman never let their taunts pierce his resolve. He would simply offer a gentle smile and continue his journey, each step a deliberate stride toward his dreams. He knew, even then, that his path was his own, and their laughter was just noise on the road to his future. Upon completing his schooling, Arman made the daunting move to the city, chasing the promise of higher education. But the city was a concrete jungle, cold and unforgiving. He had no family to turn to, no money in his pocket, and no roof over his head. For those first few nights, a bus stop became his bedroom, an old, tattered bag, his only blanket against the chill. The days bled into one another, and a gnawing hunger began to chip away at his spirit. He felt himself breaking, the weight of his reality pressing down on him. One afternoon, his gaze fell upon a man selling tea from a small roadside stall. Summoning what little strength he had left, Arman approached him. "Sir," he said, his voice barely a whisper, "can I work for you? I'll do anything you ask." The tea seller studied the young man's tired but determined face for a long moment, then gave a single life-changing nod. From that day forward, Arman's life took a new turn. He became a tea boy. His days were filled with washing cups, serving steaming glasses of chai, and wiping down tables. The work was grueling, the pay was minimal, but it was a lifeline. But Arman's ambition didn't end when the tea stall closed for the night. While the city slept, he found his sanctuary under the golden glow of a street light. That small circle of light became his classroom, the pavement, his desk. He devoured books, studied with fierce concentration, and prepared for the future he was building, brick by painful brick. Months stretched into years. Arman became a master of frugality, saving every single coin he earned. With his meager savings, he enrolled in evening classes to learn about computers, a world that seemed light years away from his reality. While others his age enjoyed their youth, Arman worked while some scoffed at the tea boy with big dreams. Arman remained focused, his silence a shield against their doubt. There were countless moments when the thought of quitting was a tempting whisper in his ear. Days when life felt relentlessly unfair, when failure seemed to be his only companion. But in those dark moments, he would hear his mother's voice echoing in his heart. "Son," she had once told him, "hard times don't mean you've been abandoned. Sometimes, it's just a test of your faith." Those words became his anchor, his unwavering source of strength. He held on to that faith, believing that his struggle was not a punishment, but a preparation. Finally, after years of relentless effort, the tide began to turn. Arman landed a small job in an IT company. It wasn't a glamorous position, and the salary was modest, but for Arman, it was everything. It was his first real step onto the ladder of his dreams. He poured his heart and soul into his work, arriving early, staying late, and absorbing every piece of knowledge he could. He wasn't just doing a job, he was building his legacy. His dedication did not go unnoticed. Within a few short years, he had transformed from a novice into one of the most skilled and respected developers in the company. And then, the day came. The same company that had taken a chance on a young man with no experience offered him the position of project manager. It was a moment of profound victory, a culmination of every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every ounce of faith he had ever mustered. When Arman received his first salary as a manager, a sum larger than he had ever held, he didn't rush to buy a fancy car or a new apartment for himself. His first thought was of the 2 people who had given him everything. He traveled back to his village, back to the dusty lanes where his journey began. There, he stood before his parents and gifted them the keys to a small, beautiful house, their very first real home. As his father held the keys, Tears of joy and pride streamed down his weathered face. "You did it, my son," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "You proved that poverty can't hold back a spirit that refuses to give up." Friends, every one of us faces struggles in this journey called life. It's an unavoidable part of the human experience. Some people crumble under the pressure, while others use that very pressure to forge themselves into something stronger. Arman's story teaches us a powerful lesson. Success is not a lottery ticket you win overnight. It's a structure you build, day by day, with the bricks of hard work, perseverance, and unwavering belief. Remember, you don't need a privileged start to reach a grand finish. What you need is the courage to begin, the consistency to keep going, and the faith to believe in yourself even when no one else does. So, no matter how dark your days may seem, no matter how many times you fall, please, don't give up. Because sometimes, your greatest failure is just the final test before your most spectacular success. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that inspires. We'll see you in the next one.